Hello. Welcome to Healthy by Choice, the podcast that's here to ignite your belief in what's truly possible for your health and well-being. Hi, I'm Dr. Kerry, and what lights me up is empowering others. My mission has always been to inspire you to take your health seriously and give you the tools to understand your body on a deeper, more meaningful level. In each episode, we'll explore the healing power of nature, the role of real food as medicine, and how intentional movement can restore balance to your body and mind. So whether you're on a journey of prevention, recovery, or simply seeking more vitality, this podcast is your reminder. You hold the power to heal. Thanks so much for joining me. Hi friends, welcome back. Thank you for being with me. I appreciate you. I appreciate your time. I have recently been reflecting on the sentiment, thank you for being you. And it's one of my favorite things to tell someone who I adore or someone who I appreciate. And it was recently Valentine's Day, and one of the things that I like to hear the most, one of the things I like to share and receive is just appreciation for being you, and thank you for being who you are, who you currently are, and then celebrating and supporting becoming more of who you are, and not necessarily more of, any particular thing. That some people have goals, and that's absolutely always welcome and a piece of that. And certainly I know that I set goals. So yes, I celebrate that, but it's about the becoming who you're meant to be, becoming how about expanding, right? Like regardless of the initial inspiration, whatever it is that motivates you to expand or sometimes change or sometimes increase. When we make commitments to ourselves, when we make commitments to any piece or the total of ourselves, what we notice is a change in the mindset, a change in lifestyle or routine, obviously goals, but confidence and getting increased or improved energy and sleep, and then just health overall. And mostly when I say health overall, for me, it's the mental, spiritual, and emotional health that we carry around in our physical body. Because I get it, people are in pain, and sometimes pain shows up as a physical pain. And when people come into my office, often and for many years, I recognize that it comes from a mental, spiritual, or emotional place. And so I absolutely acknowledge that, of course. But sometimes we get to a place where we're motivated to change, we're motivated to be different, we're motivated to be more of who we actually are and maybe less of who we thought we're supposed to be. And, that motivation often does come from pain, and pain can look like all kinds of things, but the motivation to become in alignment or to be more in alignment, right? So I think of it as living intentionally, being proactive or proactively becoming, proactively being present, becoming more present. An example is just noticing more beauty, being more creative, which usually for me, both noticing or receiving or allowing more beauty, more natural beauty, more human connection, and increased creativity all come from quieting myself, quieting my brain, quieting my activity. And that is nervous system regulation. That in and of itself is nervous system regulation. And when your actions match your values, the motivation shows up naturally. And, you can do that by just taking the time to ask yourself. You can ask yourself questions like, what actually matters to me right now? And where am I not in alignment, or where am I out of alignment? And create that space to ask yourself those questions. For me, that's my morning walks, or when I'm doing stretching or light movement, not necessarily a heavy workout. Clearly journaling, that's what journaling is meant for. And, cooking in the kitchen, being by myself, just having the radio off, having all noises off, and just being alone with my food, my intention for the day. And sometimes it's calling a friend, or getting outside, getting sunlight, whatever. But even in my wind down rituals, even in my evening spaces, I find those opportunities to ask myself. And then, listen. I think that's the key, is we want to make sure that we listen to what answers come when we ask ourselves really important questions, particularly questions about where am I and where am I not in alignment. So change, doesn't come from big decisions. It comes from daily rituals. So when we create ritual, it's a way of prioritizing. And that, first of all, just prioritizing what matters, number one. And by creating those rituals, we're telling our brains, this is who I am now. And we become expecting that. And we start to, I want to say, embody that, or, it's a part of our regular routine. This is expanding. This is loving yourself, or this is loving yourself with intention. So when I choose me, when you choose you, you're choosing your future. And we are choosing a future that we will love, that we will continue to live with joy, or, live with enjoyment. And we're choosing to have those experiences. And if we commit to it, the rituals we choose create our identity. So, when we commit to this, it's tackle the mental, emotional, and physical pieces. That's the part that we associate with embracing a healthy lifestyle. The intentional priorities, the protecting your time and energy. It's a kind of a phrase to say protecting your peace, but I really, really live by that. I have to prioritize protecting my peace. I have to prioritize the person that I'm becoming. And for me, yes, that's sleep 8 hours each night. Yes, that's movement daily. Many times it's creating community. I have to think about reaching out to people and seeing friends or family, whether it's by phone or in person, and all that stuff. And always learning something new. I like to incorporate that into my life, and health being number one, my mental, spiritual, emotional health, along with my physical health. That is for real. And, it's my pen, my story. I'm the author. Not just the next chapter, but the rest of my life, which there may be many chapters, but all of them, the foundation is healthy living. And I'm really conscious of that. I talk to people about that all the time, how we can be grateful when we have to learn something new, because we're never going to be this young again. While it's true we've never been this old before, we'll never be this young again. So, it's not about overhauling your life overnight. It's about building, and it's about that foundation for future. And sometimes people get smacked with something that does make them have to relearn. And it doesn't have to be a negative, because really it's, it may be the next chapter, and it may be the next chapter of many. So join me in being intentional and train your mind, train our minds to find the light in everything. I love the phrase, making lemonade from lemons or finding the silver lining, because that's really, really how I live. It's really a motivation of mine. And you know what? The plot twist is that this is the best chapter yet. And that's how I'm living. That's what I'm believing. I'm choosing to believe. So with that, I'm going to send you in love, all the love in my heart. I'm sending you big, big hugs. And I really hope that you're doing well and taking care of you and making you a priority. I love you. And thank you so much for being with me during this time.